Okay, if you just watched episode 5 of Pluribus and you're like me, you ended on a huge gasp. Carol, of all people, opens up that freezer, lifts the tarp, and recoils. We don't see what she sees, but wow, does that moment hit. Today I want to unpack what I think she saw, why it might mean the food or the milk is tainted, and why this isn't just horror. It might be the darkest plot twist in sci-fi this season. Stick around, because by the end I want to hear your theory. What we know so far. Now obviously spoilers ahead if you haven't watched the previous episodes, and I just noticed I sounded like Carol when she wrote on the board, what do we know? Anyway, remember the milk everyone in the hive-mind drinks? In this episode, Carol follows a trail, dumpsters full of empty milk cartons, a milk factory, and bags of white crystalline powder. Carol tests this powder and finds that it's water plus some mysterious liquid. It's not milk at all. It's a strange, slightly oily fluid, neutral pH. She finds a barcode, traces it to a food packing plant, not a regular dairy, and then sneaks into a cold storage warehouse. Finally, she lifts a tarp in that storage room, and something horrifying makes her gasp. But we, the viewers, don't see what's under the tarp. So yes, all signs point this milk is not benign. Something is deeply wrong. So this is what Carol likely saw, and why fans think it's human remains. There are several clues stacked up. The milk isn't milk. It's synthesized from powder. The powder came from a plant tied to pet food or food packing, not a traditional dairy. Normal food or no living creature kills are off the table. Why would the hive mind go to those lengths? It suggests they're sourcing nutrients from something else. The final gasp. The horror on Carol's face isn't mild shock. It feels like witnessing something grotesquely wrong. Maybe frozen bodies, maybe bone matter, maybe human remains ground down into powder. Fans are already drawing parallels with other apocalyptic stories and saying there must be a cannibal involved, given the setup, given that the hive mind is vegetarian, so they don't kill. And that stance becomes twisted now, because maybe they don't kill animals, but maybe they still consume humans. If you remember from earlier episodes, one immune survivor from Paraguay refused the food offered to him. He resorted to dog food instead. That contrast feels huge in hindsight. Maybe he sensed the milk was off, or maybe his stomach instinct just wouldn't let him. Meanwhile, Carol drank it, perhaps because she trusted the hive mind more at first, or maybe grief, hope, loneliness clouded her sense. That difference in behavior now looks like a red flag. Carol consumed this substance, and this substance might be corpseified nutrition. So what does this reveal mean for the show, and why it works so well? It reframes the hive mind not as benign, all good vibes, but as deeply parasitic, emotionally manipulative, physically cannibalistic. That tension between peaceful collective and horrific consumption makes the story a lot darker and more compelling. It casts everything the hive does, disposing bodies, offering help, supplying food, in a horrifyingly new light. Maybe help means processing, food means fuel, care means control. For Carol, for us, the horror becomes existential. If the others consume humanity's corpses to sustain themselves, then what does it mean to resist joining, to stay relatively human? This is my theory for what might happen next, and a few wildcard possibilities. Here's what I think. The powder equals ground down human remains, bones, tissue, things like that. Enough protein or fat to sustain hive mind energy needs. The milk cartons are mass produced and distributed to others, maybe worldwide. The reason the hive doesn't kill is because they don't need to. The world is full of corpses, pandemic deaths, suicides, collateral. Recycling the dead fits their purpose of no waste, only a simulation? What if the hive isn't just sustaining themselves? What if the milk is part of the joining process? Maybe drinking it gradually dissolves individuality, making those who consume it easier to join. So what do you think? Was it human? Were those bodies under the tarp? Did Carol just discover the world's most horrific recycling program? I'm betting yes, but I want to hear your theory. Drop it in the comments. What do you think is in the milk? And what happens if someone immune drinks it? And bonus, do you think the show will actually go full cannibal, or will it pull the rug out and surprise us? If you like this breakdown, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.